the 3 buckets of behavior. The first is maybe distracting behavior. Distracting behavior is a behavior that may be distracting to you as the teacher or as the facilitator. It may be distracting to 1 or 2 or 3 people in the room. Let's say maybe tapping on the table, gulping a glass of water, not having the mic muted, and there's someone in the background cutting grass, or maybe some TV going in the background, or maybe somebody's wearing something, a logo or something on a t-shirt. That's a little distracting. Those are distracting behavior. But 2 is disruptive behavior. Disruptive behavior is behavior that is disrupting the learning environment, meaning that it is taking over, that no learning can take place, canceled out the learning environment. It has taken over the learning environment to where no one is learning. Now everybody is focused on that behavior. So it's the difference between distracting behavior and disruptive behavior. The last one is destructive behavior, which you may not necessarily see as much of virtually, but destructive behavior is just that. It's destructive. There's things being destroyed in the room. There's tables being thrown and things being ripped off the wall. That's destructive behavior. That can be physically dangerous, and that may hurt that student or may even hurt others. So that's very, very severe. The point that we want to make on this slide is this. This is the question that you want to ask if you want to decide whether something is distracting, disruptive, or destructive. Can I still teach? Can others still learn? Can the student still learn? If any of these questions are yes, or if your answer to any of those questions is yes, then this just may be distracting behavior and you may be able to teach through it. But if you can teach through it and you can address it later, that may be the better option. I'll give you an example of this. I was in a faculty meeting virtually a few days ago. I had every teacher on the team, Microsoft team meeting. So of course you see everybody's camera was on, so you can see everybody. And there was this one teacher who had a pencil and had an eraser on the end of the pencil, where the eraser was a finger doing like this. So there was an eraser that had a finger on the end. And that teacher was just scratching himself here, kind of picking his nose with it, and in his ear with it, and playing around his mouth with it. Let's say that teacher's name was Mr. Miller. It was not me, but let's just say for the point of today's presentation, it was Mr. Miller. And all in the chat box, you heard at least 3 or 4 teachers going, what is Mr. Miller doing? Why is Mr. Miller playing with that pencil? Why is he flipping Mr. Bird with that pencil eraser? So it was distracting behavior, but the principal who was facilitating the meeting was able to continue the meeting without stopping, without addressing that, because it didn't disrupt the environment. People were still able to focus. Yes, there was a few people who noticed it. Maybe everyone noticed it, but it didn't disrupt what was being said. So the principal didn't address it. At the very end of the class or the session of the meeting, she then acknowledged it. Was like, yeah, now, hopefully Mr. Miller could put that pencil down now. And of course, everybody had a nice little laugh. So that's distracting behavior. Now let's have an example of what disruptive behavior may look like. You got a task going on, and there's a student in the class who is screaming and yelling profanities at the screen. That's disruptive behavior. No one can hear the teacher, no one can hear anything else. That is disruptive. That needs to be responded to immediately. So what are some examples that you think will come up of what may be distractive behavior and disruptive behavior?